We've come along to MIFA again today to find out about what's going on, of course, this weekend, this big event that's happening in the Isle of Man. With me is Lee and Chris, looking after the team. Who would like to take it and explain what this event is this weekend?
Yeah, this is it's a Niamh Challenge Cup, but at the same time it's for World Cup qualifying. The winners of this tournament will go into next year's World Cup, which supposedly at this moment in time is either Brazil or Abkhazia, but if other countries come in with votes or bids, then obviously it could end up going anywhere at this moment. But we're looking forward to this weekend with playing Punjab region and hopefully beat them and then get into the final the following day. The first game up is Alderney against Veldebeck.
You do well with all these names, by the way, I have to say, all these different areas. I mean, initially this was going to be just Alderney. It has expanded, as you say, now there's a golden ticket, so there's quite an incentive, isn't there, as well?
As far as we're concerned, this is more important than the Euro Championships that are going to be in Hungary in 2 weeks' time, because you play the next game, don't you? So these games are the first ones up, and these are the games that we want to win.
So the whole weekend there were games on. You obviously know where you're playing the first one, but you won't know if you're in the final and the second day. But any ideas what the competition's like? Do you feel positive about this?
Competition, we know a little bit about Alderney. They won the Guernsey League this year. Veldebeck we don't know anything about, apart from some of their players play futsal, and Punjab we don't know anything about at all. It's going into the unknown, really, because each time a team comes along, they don't have a big history, because this is a new CANIFA confederation. So there's more and more teams joining all the time. Hence, teams want, the World Cup perhaps being in Brazil means now there's teams being formed in South America, which is brilliant.
Okay. Well, you've had a little coaching day the other day. You had the chance to see the team together. I mean, how's it looking?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of we put a squad together. The main bulk are from the same players from last year. We've got a few new ones coming in, so it's just a case of getting them together so they see how we work. They're obviously from other clubs and they see us on Saturdays when we play them and things, but it's just making sure they understand what's expected of them from me and Chris and how we work. It's not rocket science, I can assure you, and obviously when they come in, they start to realise that it's just about standards and the discipline within the unit, and the rest of it's sort of down to them to deliver the goods.
Well, of course, you two together look after St George's, and everyone knows how you two work, and we've seen that in action, and what an amazing season you've had. What about those other players that come in? Is it quite a learning curve to find out how you work as well as how they work?
It is, but like I said, there's quite a few of them went to Sweden with us last year, and they seen how amazing it was, and so in terms of them buying into what me and Chris want, there's not much to be done really. The one or two that have come in, I've went to France with us at Christmas and they seen a little bit of it there. So all in all, I've got to say the lads are fantastic. They come in, they're willing to work, they listen what you ask of them. Maybe they're a bit surprised at how very straightforward me and Chris are in how we work. It's not rocket science, it's about hard work. And if you're willing to put yourself on the line and give everything you've got, and the talent then comes through after that, we believe that we can achieve great things. So it's been good.
Okay, I mean, I've asked this before, but I mean, you know your own team, but is it tricky to get around the islands and see the others, or do you just kind of have them when they come to see you anyway, you kind of start making notes about them?
It can be awkward. You would like to be able to see the other players a little bit more than we do, but having said that, the fact that St George's managed to win a Grand Slam, if a player is going to perform well, then he needs to perform well against the best team in the island. So that really gives us some insight as to what we can expect from certain players.
Well, last year, we were all there in Sweden. Do you think that there's going to be that sort of buzz again? Do you think you can pull it off and win this?
It would be nice, but come on now, Sweden was an absolutely memorable occasion, and probably the best occasion that the whole group has ever had in their footballing lives.
I think what's relevant is to say that the first game last year against Nagorno-Karabakh, we were getting beat 2-1 with a couple of minutes to go. And had we not have won that game, who knows where the week could have took us. I mean, it sort of snowballed really off 2 late goals, come away winning on a high, went in and beat Nice the next day, which was incredible, and everything just went from there. Now, had we not scored them 2 goals, it could have been a very different week. You know, I mean, you could have been ending up in maybe the ninth and 10th place playoffs. Had you not won the first one, you don't win the second one, and then you're fighting for scraps. So it all hinges on a little bit of good fortune, and sometimes getting what you deserve. And hopefully, if we can replicate that when we go to Hungary, and we can get a good result in the first game, who knows again where it can take us. Football's funny like that.
I think it'll be really difficult because we played well above ourselves in Sweden, and like Lee says, you know, it became a roller coaster. But to try and replicate that all the time, I think teams will get wise to the way we play. So during coaching now, we're trying to implement different ideas, different techniques. So we have, you know, more than one string to our bow. Whereas when we were in Sweden, we just played a very high intensity game.
Okay. Well, finally, we didn't have a lot of people watching it there. There's no excuse being on home territory for this weekend. It'd be nice to have some support, yeah?
I think so. It'd be great if everybody that watched it on television could get down to the bowl and support us either on the Saturday or the Sunday. I don't mind which, but you know, they can do both if they want. But if everybody that watched us on television did turn up at the bowl, it would be a great atmosphere.
I think what would be good is, I say this to a lot of people, some people haven't always bought into the whole idea of MIFA and what it's about, and some of them don't really understand it and get the whole nationality thing. But what I would say is bring your kids, your grandkids along, because you don't know, in 5, 10, 15 years, it might be your kids and your grandkids that are willing to represent MIFA, and it might be all of a sudden something you start to realise. So if you're not interested, certainly get the kids interested, because by then, who knows where it could be. You know, just get them down there, watch the game. It's going to be a different standard of football, different style of football, and hopefully one that maybe in the future that's something they can embark on themselves.